This is it, Luka Doncic fans, the moment you've been waiting for. Luka Magic is officially back in action, this time not in a Dallas Mavericks jersey, but in the colors of Slovenia, and the spotlight is burning bright as he faces off against Latvia in one of the most highly anticipated international basketball matchups of the year. You could feel the electricity from the very first whistle, the crowd roaring every time Luka touched the ball, the cameras glued to him as if every dribble was history in the making, and the stakes? Massive. This wasn't just another friendly exhibition game, this was about pride, national representation, and Luka showing the world once again why he's not just a star in the NBA but a global phenomenon. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how Luka performed, the plays that left jaws on the floor, the impact this game has for Slovenia moving forward, and how this matchup against Latvia proves once again that when Luka Doncic is on the floor, basketball is simply different. So stay locked in, because we're going to take you through the magic, the intensity, and everything that made Slovenia versus Latvia a showcase of Luka at his absolute best. Now let's set the stage before we dive deep into the action. Luka Doncic has always been more than just an NBA superstar, he's the beating heart of Slovenia's basketball program. Every summer, when NBA fans are wondering if their stars will risk injury to suit up for their national teams, Luka never hesitates. For him, representing Slovenia isn't optional, it's personal. And facing Latvia, a country that has been surging with talent in the international scene, was no small task. Latvia, led by their own sharpshooters and with a reputation for being scrappy, disciplined, and dangerous from beyond the arc, came into this game with the mindset of proving they belong on the global stage. But then there's Luka, the X factor, the one-man system who can bend defenses, dictate tempo, and turn the outcome of a game almost single-handedly. The anticipation was sky-high, and from the opening tip, it was clear this wasn't just a game, it was a test of how far Slovenia can go when Luka is locked in. Right away, Luka made his presence known. On the very first possession, he came off a high pick and roll, drew a double team, and casually zipped a no-look pass to his big man for an easy dunk. The message was clear, double me if you dare, but I'll slice you apart with my vision. And that's the thing about Luka in international play, the court looks smaller, the defenses look tighter, and yet somehow, Luka still sees passing lanes nobody else on earth can. A few minutes later, he got into his bag offensively, backing down his defender in the post, using that signature footwork to spin and hit a fadeaway jumper that had fans chanting his name. It wasn't just a bucket, it was a statement. Luka wasn't here to ease into things, he was here to dominate. Latvia, to their credit, didn't back down. They kept firing from deep, spacing the floor, and trying to push the pace to wear Luka out. At one point, they strung together 3 consecutive threes, forcing Slovenia into a timeout and reminding everyone that this wasn't going to be a cakewalk. But every time Latvia tried to swing momentum, Luka had an answer. Whether it was hitting a step-back 3 from well beyond the arc, driving to the rim to draw contact and get to the free throw line, or calmly setting up his teammates with perfectly timed assists, Luka controlled the flow like a maestro with a baton. What makes him so lethal in this environment is that FIBA rules actually favor his style. With less defensive 3-second restrictions and more physicality allowed, Luka can use his strength to bully smaller guards, punish switches, and put defenders in impossible situations. The first half was a back-and-forth affair, with Latvia refusing to go away quietly. They tested Luka on defense, forcing him to chase shooters and rotate, and you could see at times the fatigue creeping in. But here's the thing about Luka Doncic, even when he looks tired, even when he's huffing and puffing, he still finds a way to make magic happen. Just before halftime, with Slovenia holding a slim lead, Luka dribbled out the clock, sized up his defender, and unleashed one of those patented step-back threes that barely touched the rim as it dropped through the net. The arena exploded, his teammates mobbed him, and suddenly Slovenia had momentum heading into the locker room. Coming out in the second half, it was all about whether Slovenia could pull away or if Latvia could make this a down-to-the-wire thriller. Once again, Luka set the tone. He started the third quarter by orchestrating the offense like a conductor, slowing the game down to his pace, drawing fouls, and making Latvia's defense scramble. What's fascinating is that while Luka racks up points, it's often his playmaking that breaks opponents. At one point, after hitting a contested floater, Luka came back down the next possession, saw the defense shading toward him, and rifled a pass to the weak side corner for an open three. Swish. A few possessions later, another double team came, and this time he lobbed it over the top for a dunk. Latvia simply couldn't figure him out, and the frustration started to show as fouls piled up. But Latvia is no pushover. They kept hitting timely shots and even cut the lead down to single digits late in the third quarter. The tension was palpable, the crowd was on edge, and for a brief moment, it looked like Latvia might pull off the upset. That's when Luka reminded everyone why he's special. In the span of 2 minutes, he went on a personal run, first a deep three, then a bully ball drive to the rim, and then a filthy behind-the-back assist that had the arena buzzing. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, Slovenia had rebuilt their cushion, and Luka had firmly taken control of the game. The final stretch was vintage Luka. Even as fatigue set in, he played chess while Latvia played checkers. He milked the clock, forced switches onto slower defenders, and hunted mismatches relentlessly. Every possession felt like a masterclass in pacing and control. And when Latvia made one last push in the closing minutes, Luka shut the door with another step-back dagger three that sent the fans into a frenzy. By the end, Slovenia had secured the win, and Luka finished with a stat line that screamed dominance: points, rebounds, assists, steals, you name it, he did it. But the numbers don't tell the full story. The way he controlled the game, lifted his teammates, and carried the hopes of a nation on his shoulders was something only Luka Doncic can do. Now, what does this mean beyond just one game? For Slovenia, it's validation that with Luka in form, they can compete with anyone. The chemistry, the confidence, the leadership, it all starts with him. For Latvia, it's proof they're on the rise and capable of challenging elite teams. But for NBA fans, especially those following the Dallas Mavericks, this game was a reminder that Luka's skill set translates anywhere, against any opponent, under any rule set. Whether it's the NBA or FIBA, Luka Doncic is a force of nature who thrives under pressure and elevates the game every time he steps on the court. So here's the bottom line: Luka Doncic in action is must-see basketball, period. Whether it's for the Mavs in the NBA or Slovenia on the international stage, the man puts on a show unlike anyone else in the sport. This Slovenia versus Latvia game was another chapter in the legend of Luka magic, and if this is a preview of what's to come this summer, fans are in for a treat. Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of Luka's performance? Was this one of the best versions of him you've seen in international play? Do you think Slovenia has a real shot to go deep in the upcoming tournament with Luka leading the way? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this conversation going. And if you love watching Luka light it up and want more breakdowns like this, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next update. Luka Doncic is rewriting the game in front of our eyes, and we'll be here to cover every dazzling step of the journey.